It's never simple to deal with monsters, and Star Trek, Picard Season 3 Episode 7 emphasizes this point with the appearance of a resurrected classic antagonist, the past of our new antagonist, a suspicion of another, and the decision of two of our heroes to follow a hideous path. Additionally, it is devastating to realize how horrifyingly deeply the changelings have entered Starfleet, replacing even Tuvok. It's noteworthy to observe that there isn't a light-hearted remark to be heard without Riker, Worf, and Raffi. Even Shaw is acting strangely reserved and formal. Vatic's tale is likely filled up with disconnected flashbacks and that strange whistled rendition of Three Blind Mice, since there is no proper language to describe the tragedy that gave rise to her insanity-tinged zeal. It is not difficult to envisage Section 31 attempting to weaponize changelings through experimentation, given that they not only manufactured the morphogenic virus but also secretly infected Odo in order for him to bring it back to the Great Link. It remains disgusting and hurtful despite this. While Section 31's nearly successful effort at genocide would have been sufficient justification for a changeling conspiracy, the fact that the Federation carried out Nazi-style lab experimentation on captured changelings makes their revenge more likely than ever to occur. There is no record of Vatic and the other 9 Daystrom Station changelings escaping their captors until the Dominion War concluded in 2375. They wouldn't have been documented as captives, and Section 31 would not have felt compelled to release them after the war. It's understandable that Vatic exhibits a sense of barely conscious ennui given the horrible experiments she endured. As Vatic, Amanda Plummer has been killing it, and many people, with her nasty intentions, calculated plan, and determination to exact revenge. Nonetheless, she is a result of her life events. The Federation is the source of all her fantasies. The injustices committed against her people are the source of all of her motivation. She isn't actually the main antagonist of the fight, though. She is a soldier, a high-ranking soldier, and she obeys commands. We are still unsure of the person who commands her to return to the nebula and demand that Riker and Deanna undergo harsher interrogation. Vatic is deliberate in everything he says to Picard and Beverly. Her smile shows satisfaction as they decide to kill her before she can hurt Jack. Making monsters from monsters. The introspective moral navel-gazing Beverly and Picard engage in is consistent with who they are as people. The Enterprise crew's reputation as self-righteous and self-proclaimed heroes as described by lore isn't entirely inaccurate. As moral people, Beverly and Picard take great satisfaction in who they are. There is no halfway point to being, which makes that self-image flimsy. They will no longer be able to view themselves as they once did once Beverly creates a biological weapon that can be used to attack the Daystrom changelings or after she and Picard execute a prisoner. Trek fans are aware of the morally dubious acts that both characters have taken in the past, but they believe that these decisions were done for a reason. Would they be able to come to terms with what they had done in the name of parenthood? We would immediately know the solution if intentions mattered. Fortunately, Lore's astute timing prevented them from having to cope with the consequences of a successful execution. My opinion is that Brent Spiner does a better job of portraying Lore than Data or any of the songs. Dare to disagree with me on it. Unrepentantly clever, razor-sharp articulate, and perfectly devoid of a pesky moral compass, Spiner's Lore is a work of art. That is not to suggest that he lacks direction. Lore is fully aware of his destination and the necessary equipment to get there. It's a masterclass in externalizing internal turmoil to watch him fight to control Data as Geordi begs for assistance repeatedly in the name of their friendship. Seeing Geordi in this situation is the most agonizing. A Commodore, or an engineer, is accustomed to getting things done. As Sydney is imprisoned and in danger, Lore takes over control of the ship's systems, and Geordi is at his most powerless and desperate. The only thing he can do is to keep hitting Lore until Data is able to regain consciousness. Sydney, meantime, confirms Jack's long-held suspicions. He isn't quite typical. Yeah, having him take control and manipulate her during the battle saves her life, but it's also a terribly intrusive experience, and it's not like he had the chance to explain what would happen. If even he could. For the good men, the situation seemed hopeless once more. For now, Data has some influence. Yet it won't be simple to remove Vatic from her new command because Lore is acting in opposition to one another. Do changelings fall under Jack's mental influence as well? Could he use a red eye to trick one of Vatic's warriors into doing what he wanted? While hidden in the junkyard, Worf and Raffi were going back to the Titan. Did they inform him and Raffi of the location where they would set the Shrike's trap? Shaw is so poor. This week, he has been subjected to more unwanted butts than any captain ought to have to deal with. Riker and Deanna, how are you doing? Does Deanna actually exist? Still, I have my doubts. How are they going to pull themselves out of this jam? Will everybody live? If the changelings are unable to locate Jack in time, how will their Frontier Day scheme be structured? Your comments are welcome below. Send us your most innovative theories and concepts. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. To view more of them, switch the channel's bell icon to the subscribe position. To help the channel, please leave a like as well. I appreciate your thought and time.